Hey everyone, this is going to be a long one. As you can see by the title, we are back to talking about Michael Long. Oh goodness. Let me explain, okay? I made a video the other day and I was talking about how Katie had called, or was not really called Michael out, but was talking shit about Michael Long. And at the same time saying that his daughter had been convinced that these things that she has said has happened to her, she was just convinced that that happened. It didn't actually happen. And that's where I had a problem. So there's a few things I have to state before I get into all this. And the first thing is that no, this is not something I would usually cover. But because people like Katie and Critical K, let me just be clear, I do not like Critical K. I think she's absolutely disgusting, and I won't really speak on her, even though I could probably make a whole channel dedicated to all the bullshit she's done. She doesn't deserve the attention. You know, we can't help that Katie has been brought into the spotlight with this lawsuit, but the other woman, nah, she doesn't deserve the attention. She's a horrible, horrible person, or at least what she portrays online, the things that she says, horrible. Where was I? Sorry. I'm sorry. This is going to be a long one. I really do apologize. So, no, this is not something I would normally talk about. And we're going to be talking about Michael Long's actions, what he's been doing lately. And the reason that this came up was a lot of people in the comment section of my other video were like, okay, girl, I hear you, but he's doing some shady things. So I went back and I looked. And God, I missed a lot. Because I hadn't looked into him. I hadn't looked at any of this. I was like, you know, when things happen with the case, you know, the custody case or criminal charges are filed for what happened to this girl, you know, then I can, you know, pay attention, look, and listen. But I figured they were just kind of living their life. And boy, was Michael living his life. So, there's been a few things done. But before I get any further into what he has done lately, I think it's important to explain why this whole thing, why talking about it is important. Because it does have a whole lot to do with his marriage and what he's been doing recently as far as the marriage splitting up. And I understand when people say, well, that's their personal life, that's their business, it's not ours. I even said it the other day. I said it in my video, I was like, not our fucking business. However, after watching the Glare's live stream where he had Annie and Michael Long came on, which is where all my information is coming from, well, not all, but the majority of my information is coming from that, so I will be putting that in the description box, and I really encourage you to watch it, okay? I know most of the time when people recommend a video, most people don't go see it, but even if you watch just a few minutes of it, it's a little over 30 minutes in, Michael comes on, and I feel like it's important to hear how he dodges questions, how he answers questions, like his reaction, which I'll give a summary of in a minute. But the reason that this relationship situation is important to people on the internet is because when we were introduced to Michael Long, it was all about very personal things that happened to his child. And he didn't just stop at sharing that video and maybe answering a few questions. Michael has tried to push and push and push and be on everybody's channel, be on Facebook pages, be on Twitter. He's put everything out there for so long. And we are supporting his family. And that's the thing. So what happens with him and Courtney and the way he is treating Courtney and then not addressing it or half-ass addressing it or straight up lying about it, it matters because Courtney is just as much of a part of this as Michael and his daughter. So I think that people who have given their time, their money, their support, have been personally attacked for supporting him and his daughter, it feels like betrayal. It feels like, okay, we just want answers. We just want to know what's up. And I feel like because he's been so much at the forefront, and here's my, my life, and here's what's going on in every detail of my daughter's situation, people feel that they do deserve that because that boundary has never been there. But this isn't just about their breakup, what's going on there. There are other things that Michael is doing, which we will get into. And the main point of this is that it hurts his daughter's situation. This affects his daughter. And that is why people who have stood by her from the beginning feel that they deserve answers and feel that it's okay to talk about this because they're not getting the answers. Sorry. Let me get a drink. I'm sorry. So, with all of that said, let me say this. I feel like there's a lot to go over before getting into it, but this is all very important. Courtney has talked to Annie from 10 to Life, and she has been very clear that just because all of this is going on, she's not once discredited what the little girl said happened to her. And I want us all to remember that what was said came from the little girl herself. So no matter how shitty or shady the father is, it does not discount what this girl has said happened. And I think that was my biggest issue with people like Katie and Critical K saying that, she was just convinced this happened, because this is a very intelligent little girl. She knows. Until the very end, I will support and believe this child. And I think we all should, no matter what the parents do, because it's not the girl's fault. And I think when it comes down to it, this is just a shitty situation where her mom isn't the best. She's got the boyfriend around, and that's where shit happened. And I think now the dad's just not the best. In my personal opinion, he thinks he's fucking famous now. And his ego is blown up. And I think I don't know, but the point is, all of this affects the child in this situation. And that is what we're here to talk about. That is why we're going over what he's done and what he's doing. So, to get into it, it's going to be a lot. But I want to give you a summary of his responses during this live. Basically, they go a little something like, what? Or let me do it in a Michael face voice. A face voice. Something along the lines of, what? What? Well, where'd you hear that? That's not true. This is insane. This is ridiculous. No, that didn't happen. That's how that went down. I'm telling you, you gotta hear it for yourself, guys. You just gotta hear it. It's so annoying. Like when you know someone is just like fake as hell and they're lying and they're acting like they don't know. Like he seems so confused. What? No. What? No. Toothbrush? No. Oh my God. Okay, I'll explain the toothbrush in a second. So here are just some of the things that have been going on with Michael Long. He has chosen to go to other channels who in the past have not only hated on him or said horrible things about him and his child, but also all the people that support him. Annie, Dad Challenge, Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast, Will from, the Glare. These people who have listened to him and his story and supported his daughter through and through on their platform, they've given so much of their time and their self, and they've been attacked personally. Annie had a fake Facebook page made about her. I believe the Glare was doxxed because of this stuff. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think that's what he said in that live stream. Point is, people and everyday people that just supported have been attacked by these groups and these channels. And now Michael Long has decided, oh, I'm going to go to them. I'm going to talk to them. And so the people who have supported him and his child this entire time are like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do this? These are the people who have hurt us. So that's kind of where this started, of wanting answers, wanting to understand what the fuck he's trying to do. And then the Courtney thing. So Courtney is his current wife. And I explained in my video the other day, she's been off of social media. People have been speculating as to why. And basically what I had said was a possibility ended up being part of the reason why she left. I had said, maybe it became too much, and maybe with things happening to her son, maybe she needed to get out. So she told Annie, this is just what was said, there was no structure in the home. The kids would, especially the little girl, would be able to stay up all night, and Michael would just be like, oh, let it happen. And meanwhile, Courtney's trying to maintain some kind of structure. The kids would go days without changing their clothes or bathing. It was just a lot of stuff in the home. And then that behavior that happened with her son, she decided, you know what, I've got to get out of this for right now. Now, if you listen to Michael, all of this was just her jealousy and blah, 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 blah. At one point, Courtney does realize that Michael is talking to these, I might go back and forth between moderator and admin. It's a Facebook thing. I think that's an admin. I don't know. But he's staying up all night talking to a female admin. So she does get his phone records and ends up posting that to the group of admins, and we will get to that shortly. So there was a suspicion of, was he cheating? Does that mean that that was the only thing? The only reason that she left? No, it does not. Just want to put that out there. So all of these people are asking, where's Courtney? Why are you doing this shit? None of this makes sense. And then the allegations of him having another girlfriend come up. He denies all of this, but there is a woman named Alyssa. Alyssa is now being called his social media manager or some shit like that. Whatever. And apparently she's been staying at his house or on his property. Michael says that she stayed in a different unit, which, whatever the fuck that means, okay? So, if you listen to Michael, Courtney showed up at his house the day of this live stream, the night of this live stream. And it was only because she was just overtaken by jealousy. But she shows up, and this Alyssa girl is there. So what had actually happened, yes, Critical K spoke on it. I'm sure that didn't help Courtney to see that. But Annie had been talking to Michael earlier in the day. While Annie was on the phone with Michael kept saying he was going to come out and make some type of statement. And Annie's on the phone telling him, look, I don't understand this Facebook group. It doesn't make sense. You're going to piss a lot of people off, but you do you. And also, going on other channels, I don't think this is a good idea, but you do what you want. But then he talks about coming out and making a statement, and Alyssa is in the background, and she starts talking about Courtney, making statements about Courtney. And Annie's like, bruh, I would hope that you would speak to Courtney first. Because here's the thing. Courtney has been here since day one. Courtney loves Michael. She loves those kids. And from day one, she has stood up for this child and done everything she can to fight for her. And in my personal opinion, I think Courtney is very just sweet and smart and strong. And I think that she is a wonderful example of what it means to be a step parent. Because being any type of parent is special. But to be a step parent, or an adoptive parent. You know, there is a difference. You're making a choice to love them as your own. And I think Courtney has shown what it means to come into a marriage and take on children that aren't biologically yours, but love them, care for them, fight for them, protect them. She's been a great example of that, and she's never backed down, and she still loves and cares for the kids just as much. So when people see Michael throwing her out like garbage and moving on to someone else like Alyssa, it's like, what the fuck, man? Because we've supported all of you. We supported the family, and now you're just... It just seems like he's turning his back on everyone. That's what it feels like. So, Alyssa's in the background of that call. Annie gets upset because she's like, you know, this is messed up. Later, she talks to Courtney, and Courtney asked her, hey, when you talked to him, was Alyssa, like, physically with him? Or were y'all on, like, a three-way call? And Annie's like, I was on speakerphone. They were together. This Alyssa girl has been out there on his property for a few days. Anyway. So Courtney, obviously, like many of us women would, gets upset and goes out there. And you got to understand, this is her husband. And up until this point, I mean, he's still texting her saying, I love you. I want to work on stuff, you know? And then at the same time has a whole ass other woman on his property. And that's the thing. He's like, everybody's spinning this narrative. Y'all got Courtney's jealous narrative. Dude, if you and your wife are having enough problems that she's not there, and your first reaction within, because he keeps saying, well, she's been gone over a month. She's been gone right at a month. But your first reaction is to have a whole ass other woman staying at your house for whatever reason. She doesn't need to be there to help you with the internet, bruh. Just saying. So yeah, Courtney flips, and we're all sitting here like, answers please. Because we love Courtney, we've supported y'all. Courtney says, when she went out there, this woman was looking awfully comfortable. Her and Michael were in the RV together. That there were toothbrushes and a bag of toiletry on the sink. In the medicine cabinet, there was a Polaroid with a love note taped up. A whole lot. Just a whole lot. So when Michael comes onto the live with the glare and Annie, his first thing, this is not fair, you guys. It's not fair that you're telling this narrative. And then they're like, okay, well, what's up? What's your side? Tell us what's up. Well, I'm not going to talk about it. He tries to be, like, honorable, like, well, Courtney can say what she wants to say, and you can say what you want to say, but I say this isn't fair to Courtney and our relationship, so I'm not going to talk about it. Dude, that is so fake. It's so fake. So the glare takes the time and explains, dude, you've been so public, you've shared such personal things about your child and your family and your history with your other wife, your ex-wife, whatever. You don't get to choose to not share now just because it's inconvenient for you. So Annie's first question is, okay, if Alyssa is there to help you, what does her having a toothbrush at your house, like how does that help your social media? And I love how she asked that question. And Michael's response is, what? Toothbrush? No, I bought Sophie some. Well, Courtney hasn't been there over a month. She doesn't know what's on my bathroom sink, and it was Sophie's. I bought Sophie toiletries. Yeah. So at some point, Annie asked him about the Polaroid, and his reaction was, "What? No, there's no Polaroid. No." So basically, he says that, Courtney was just in this jealous rage. At some point during the night while Courtney is over there, Michael gets his mother to call the police, the sheriff, to come make Courtney leave. Understand, She comes over after they're supposed to be working on shit and he still loves her. And there's a whole ass other woman sitting there. And then he calls the police to have his wife removed. Tell me what that is. Just saying. It's fucked up. There was also a mention about how before that Courtney had left, she was doing laundry. She found condoms in his pocket. They did not use condoms. And he confronts him on this one. And again, it was, what? I don't think she found condoms. I don't remember that happening. And I'm like, you don't remember your wife confronting you about finding condoms in your pocket? Anyway. And he stumbles so hard because he's like you can tell he's trying to come up with something. And he's like, well, I know where the condoms are kept. Okay. What the fuck? Oh, this dude, if you haven't noticed, I don't like him anymore. He is shady as shit. So they do get to the point of asking him about the more serious shit. So I think I've pretty much covered the majority of what happened with Courtney. Real quick, I'll tell you how the live stream part with them ends. So at some point, one of Michael Long's supporters, one of his admins from a previous Facebook page standing with his daughter, she comes on and she explains, like, this is why this hurts us. This is why we want answers. Because we have went through hell supporting you. So we want to know what's up. Because, again, it's not just about supporting him or just supporting his daughter or just supporting Courtney. It was a whole we stand together movement. And what he does now affects his daughter and the support she gets, and the support she still needs very much. So she's on there. Courtney's sister comes on, and she's basically like, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying about all of it. Oh my God. And then it gets brought up because his Facebook page was supposed to be suspended or hacked or some shit. I don't even know. But it was the day after, Courtney released that information from his phone bill showing where he'd been talking to this admin, and then all of a sudden his Facebook is just shut down and Courtney's pushed out of it. I believe Courtney was kicked out of it. I don't know. So basically, these two women, the admin and Courtney's sister, are like, no, we can say how it went down because we saw this happen. Courtney shared the stuff, and then Courtney wasn't there, and then everything shut down. And Michael gets so frustrated because he can't argue that he gets off the stream. Done. Nothing else to say. It's a hot mess, y'all. I mean, they basically just got on there and were like, no, you're lying. You are fucking lying. And that's not helping your daughter. And that's the point of all of this. So here's the most serious part of this all. The GoFundMe. In the beginning, and just to be clear, people have questioned Michael from the very beginning. He's done a lot of shady things, but they weren't always very serious. Even I, in my video, was like, maybe Michael's just a weird guy. Maybe he's just a weird guy. And I believed with the Facebook group that he started, I was like, maybe in his brain, that he is just like super Mr. Positive, and in his brain, he believes he can convince these people of what he's trying to say or show them the light. I don't know. So, in the beginning, the GoFundMe was released to Michael Long. The judge said, hey, you can have it for your attorney fees. Well, now he's saying all the money's gone, and he no longer has attorneys. And that's a big freaking issue. This money was raised to fight for custody of his daughter because his daughter was being hurt. So now people are saying, like, where did this money go, and why do you not have attorneys to continue the fight that we've all fought for with you? Now, Annie told Courtney what Michael had said about not having the money for the attorneys, and Courtney was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because the attorney told Michael that he would do it pro bono. So what the hell, right? So during the live stream, they question it. They're like, hey, are you going to come out and be transparent and show receipts of where that money went for all these people who gave you that money? And he was very defensive through this whole thing. He was extremely defensive. And he keeps saying that, oh, hold on, I have an interruption. And I'm back. Anyway, so he keeps being defensive, and he keeps telling Annie, well, I'll send it to you. I won't make it public, but I'll send it to you. And the Glairer does point out, and he's like, look, I trust Annie enough that if she sees it, I'm sure people will trust her enough to say whether it's, sufficient amount of evidence or not. But I'm like, fuck that. I want to know. I want to see that. I donated money. I'm sure many of just, oof. So that's the thing. All of this to say, Michael is shady as fuck. And not being forthcoming about the GoFundMe, not having the attorneys to continue the fight that we were all fighting with him for, to go to the enemy, whether that's on a Facebook page or YouTube channels, and give them the time of day when those are the people who hurt his supporters. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. And the way he's treating Courtney, what he has done to Courtney, is wrong. And the way he carries himself, because he has been putting himself at the forefront from the very beginning, it does fall back on his child. And it gives people like fucking Critical K and Katie the opportunity to say, oh no, we were right the whole time. None of this happened to this child. Look at this shady dad. And that's why this is important to talk about. Because that child still needs the support. This entire time, Courtney has not said that, she saw the light and it was all fake and blah, 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 blah. The entire time she has stood by this child, and she still does. And that is what's important. And I believe that Michael Long truly is just trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do with everything else, but I think him and Alyssa, I believe, are dating. At one point, Annie did ask him, like, are you sleeping with her? And he's like, no. Well, whatever, dude. Whatever. But I believe that he is a shitty, shady person. And it sucks because at the center of all of this, there's a kid that was hurt that needs help. And her mom sucks because she's with the boyfriend and doing the things over there. Now her dad sucks because he's shady and we don't know where the GoFundMe money went. And he doesn't have attorneys to try to get custody of her. And Courtney, the one person who just genuinely loved and cared for and fought for so hard, it isn't there. And Michael has actually told his daughter that Courtney just left and not to answer her, her text messages or anything because she abandoned them. And that's so messed up and that's so hurtful. And you're taking away someone who loves, cares, defended, and protected your child. And that is not right. And that is why I don't have a problem talking about this, because this child needs help. She needs support. She needs love and care. And he is keeping that away from her. Because for what? So you can be famous on YouTube? So people will be in your Facebook group? It's stupid. It makes me extremely angry, obviously. But I wanted to come on and talk about it, A, because I feel like it should be talked about, and B, because there were a lot of people in my comment section who had pointed out to me that things have been happening, and I had no idea, and I'm glad now that I do. I hope, and I will definitely pray, that the child does not get forgotten, and that her story isn't twisted and, basically called a lie. I stand with the child. Period. Fuck everything else, fuck any other shit that happens. I stand with her. And I hope and pray that she gets what she needs. And that's that. So, thank you guys for being here. Please, please, please check out the link in the description box. Watch it for yourself. You really got to hear the way he talks, the way he handles everything. And I think Annie and LeClaire do a much better job of explaining the importance of all of this. So please give it a look. Just a little listen. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.